Well, hey folks, welcome to the end of week 3 of the Shape Up for Summer accountability program. Today we're going to do an accountability check-in, do a little weekend review, but I also have a special message for you that you don't want to miss. Here we are at the end of week 3 already, and the topic of the week, the focus was tracking metrics, tracking progress, looking at other things other than the end goal to show that you are making success in your program. But first things first, so accountability check-in, I want you to write accounted for in the comments if you've been tracking your metrics this week. Whatever metrics are the most important to you, but keeping track of things, keeping track of your habits and your progress are really critical to showing you and demonstrating that you are making progress. Because sometimes the end goal is really far out there and it's easy to give up if you don't see a lot of movement towards that goal. So it's super important to look at all the other metrics that I mentioned this week about things that shift for you even when you're just getting going. So I just wanted to put that out there. But if you feel like you've been on track with your numbers, definitely write accounted for in the comments. If you lose track of the numbers and you lose track of what shift is actually occurring, it can be easy to get lost in the final goal. You get really fixated on that one number, maybe it's a weight number, or you get fixated on that final lab value that you're trying to get, or just getting off of medications, and it's just like, wow, when's that gonna happen for me? And that might be a little ways out, but it's no reason to give up on the now. So I have to share a special story with you. I actually heard from a client that I hadn't been in touch with for several years. We probably were working together about 5 or 6 years ago, and she was newly diagnosed with diabetes at the time, and it was a very nerve-wracking time for her. She wasn't sure how to achieve the goals because they seemed like they were really, really far away. She had maybe a 100-pound weight loss in front of her. She had to just kind of start a whole new routine of exercise. And so it just seemed a little bit overwhelming. And we worked together. We worked together almost every other week for about a solid year. And she started to see progress on her goals. She started to see improvements on her blood sugar. She started getting into an exercise habit. She was walking 4 miles a day. And with all of that work, she still wasn't seeing the progress on the weight that she wanted to. She really wanted to see those big numbers come off, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, and it just wasn't happening. Well, fast forward to 5 years later, and it turns out she's lost 90 pounds since we were working together, which is incredible. It's one of those things that it feels like it's so far away, but it actually can be a reality if you don't give up on the day-to-day. I know she's kept up the walking, she's kept up the diet that we went over. Her blood sugars were great. After working together, she got everything normalized that, her doctor said she was at goal with her blood sugar. So everything was great except that one piece, the weight piece. You can imagine it might have been easy to give up because it just wasn't coming fast enough. That a lot of people don't stick it out for 5 years to achieve that final goal, but she did it. It was absolutely amazing, and I was totally floored. I wish I could have been there for her when it happened. One of the things that you really need to do is stay accountable every single day, and that's why the tracking is so important on the other goals, everything else that's going right, because eventually the big goal can happen and will happen, and it might take 5 years. But would you say it's worth it, even if it took 5 years to lose 90 pounds? It could have been a discouragement, right, to not achieve that weight loss, that you slide back into old habits for 2-3 years at a time, and then you'd be back at square one again. So I feel like her story just goes to show that keeping up with the daily habits will eventually produce that big long-term goal that people are going for. What connects to that, another part of my special message, is that I'm working on this type of program that will get people in the long term for good. What my goal is to give people long-term support after being guided through a step-by-step program, very specific instructions to get you on track. The on-track accountability continues indefinitely, but I want to design it right. So I want to get people's feedback about what I should include. So I'm really looking for folks that are trying to make healthy eating and exercise a permanent lifestyle because they've either been faced with health conditions or medications and they feel like they're just too young to be dealing with this kind of problem, right? And I want to be able to throw this in reverse by getting the lifestyle a priority. And so I'm going to be walking people through that, like hand holding step by step exactly what to do, and then staying accountable forever. Okay, so if that sounds interesting to you and you want to give me some feedback about what I should include, I want to hear from you. So please message me. We'll set up a call. I'll ask you a bunch of questions, but I want to find out exactly what to include in your ideal program. So I'm going to tell you more about it as I develop it, but I don't want to develop it without your input. If the health goals aren't your priority, but you know somebody else that's really important to them and they're willing to do anything, but they just need the right program, please put them in contact with me. I really want to hear from them. And if I can help that one person, then I know I can help a bunch of people. So I want to get as much feedback as possible. I'm just going to wrap it up by saying that if you know of anyone or yourself that could give me some feedback into creating the best program, I want to have the elements that are the most important to people, all right, in one of these ideal programs. So, help with recipes, meal plans, what to do every single day, how to set up an exercise program, whatever it is that you think. That's what I'm designing, all right? Now, I'll keep you posted on it. I'm working on it really hard right now, but it's something I've wanted to do for a long time, is create my own special group of folks that are my forever community. So it's kind of exciting stuff. I'm really excited about it, but leave me a comment either way. Accounted for if you've kept up with your accountability. If you're willing to answer a few questions for me about developing this new program, that would be awesome. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to do a little pep talk tomorrow to get you guys going on week 4. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye.